Hi, my name is Gerald Rogers.
And this is Maya Rose.
And today we're going to be talking about how to activate the second principle of a legendary relationship, which is that of purposeful production.
Now, we had a video out recently. We talked about radical responsibility, which has to do with the root chakra. It's all about in relationship, in your life, taking responsibility for where you are, not blaming the other person, but holding yourself accountable for your own emotions and feelings. So once you do that, once you have radical responsibility, once you can take ownership for the results that are showing up in your life, in your relationship, now you can move up to that sacral chakra, which is really the chakra of creativity, which is why it's related to purposeful production.
So what is purposeful production and how does this relate to relationships? So this sacral chakra, this space of purposeful production, is all about being turned on by life, being ignited and having your life force or your soul force energy fully awake. And what happens when you're turned on by life, then all of a sudden you have all this energy to bring to your partner and to your relationships and to essentially everything that you're creating.
I get turned on just hearing you talk about being turned on by life. I love when he's turned on by life.
Yeah, and the challenge is when we're not turned on by life, we're not ignited by our purpose, and we're doing things that drain our energy, then we have very little to bring to our partners. Let's talk about how to get ignited, how to get turned on by life, how to, one of our friends calls it being horny for life. What does that look like? And then how does that translate into creating an epic and extraordinary relationship?
So this first begins by asking yourself and tuning into yourself and asking, what turns me on? What do I love to do? What excites me? What am I passionate about? So often we get stuck, like Gerald was saying, in these remedial tasks, or we get stuck in these patterns and we lose our passion for life. So just right now, think in your mind, what turns you on? What do you love to do? And what are you passionate about?
As you start asking this question, notice that there are things that you are doing in your life that are what we call energy rich and energy draining, right? And it's really important to be aware of, like, what are the energy rich? What are the energy rich environments? Where are the places that when you go, you just feel excited and ignited and alive and just like really, really like full of this life force energy? And what are the places when you go them, you feel your energy be drained or exhausted, or you just feel this like energy being pulled from you?
If it's part of your purpose, it's going to light you up. So this is where purposeful production comes in. So once you notice the things that turn you on, that light you up, that you're passionate about, own that as your purpose. And now you can start asking yourself, how can I produce more opportunities for me to live into my passions, to live into the things that light me up?
And so in addition to the places that you might go, who are the people? The people that when you're around them, you just feel more of yourself. Who are the friends and who are the clients and who are the soul family that when you're around them, you just are so excited and so animated and so alive? Who are the people that bring out more of you? And then who are the people that are the energy vampires, the energy leaks, the people that when you're around them, you feel tired and exhausted and you feel like it's hard to be fully expressed when you're around them? And then in addition, like, what are the things, what are the activities that when you do them, you feel fully alive, fully ignited? And what are the things that when you do them, you feel drained and exhausted? And these all become like clues to know whether or not you're in alignment with your purpose. We call this being tuned into your soul compass. Here's the deal. As a man, and I'm just going to speak for myself, and Maya Rose can speak for her, like, when I am fully aligned with my purpose, I feel this sense of confidence, I feel this sense of energy, I feel this sense of drive, I feel this desire to accomplish and to be the very best version of me. And when I'm aligned with that energy, I feel sexy, I feel confident, I feel unstoppable. And then I can bring that alpha lover energy to my goddess because I'm ignited by my purpose. If I'm out of alignment with my purpose and I'm doing things that don't inspire me, then it's impossible for me to show up in that same level of confidence with my lover.
And for me, when I'm really living into my purpose, when I'm doing the things I'm passionate about, when I'm surrounding myself with energy-rich people, I feel attractive. I feel alluring. I feel relaxed. So what I mean by this is I don't feel like I'm having to run and go and try so hard. I can just relax into who I am, attract those purposes and those places and those people into my life. I can attract my partner. And when you're aligned with your purpose, especially in the divine feminine, you are so much more attractive. You put out an attraction frequency or an attraction energy. So just think about it. The last time you were stressed out, how attractive did you feel? And how attracted did you feel like people were to you? Probably not very. But when you can align with your purpose, when you can be confident, feel good in who you are, that's when you step into that attraction energy. Now, let's talk about what else this means in a partnership, because some of you, I bet, were saying, well, actually my partner's draining my energy right now, or I don't feel as alive or passionate about my relationship as I once did. So if you're currently in a partnership, or if you're wanting to attract a partner into your life, here are some things that you can do and some tools that you can use when it comes to purposeful production. So just like you did within yourself, where you assessed what turns me on, what lights me up, what makes me feel alive, you can sit down in partnership and you can talk about this with your partner. What is it that you're wanting to create in your partnership? Is it that you want to create more connection? Does that make you feel alive? Is it when you have this intimate communication style, does that make you feel alive? And start talking about what are the energy-rich activities that you can do as a couple. So what are some of the energy-rich activities that we do that you love, that turn you on?
So for us, like when we are doing active things together, when we're going hiking the mountains or doing yoga or we're playing, like we're doing these things that we both enjoy, like I feel so excited to be with her because we're doing things that we're equally passionate about. And for us, because we do our work together, when we're actually serving clients and we're creating and we're building these events and experiences to people for other people, then all of a sudden that's also when I feel super attracted to her. And then finally, I think just like having downtime together where we both enjoy, just snuggling and watching Ted Lasso or watching, their movies, or just taking time to just be with each other, where we turn all the rest of the world off and we just allow ourselves to melt into each other.
So if you are in partnership right now, come up with the 5 things that light you up the most, that make you feel excited and alive. Sit down together and come up with these as a partner. And also, here's another thing that you can do. Tune into what are the practices that are going to allow you to achieve or accomplish those things. So for example, for Gerald and I, one of the practices that we've done in the past and something that we continue to do now is, during COVID, we took a whole day. We called it Meditation Monday, and it was our day together just to tune in. As we've evolved out of COVID, it's changed and morphed over time to sitting down, tuning in every Sunday night to tune back into each other's frequency, to ask ourselves, how are we doing as a couple? What are the results that we're creating? And what are the things that we want to create in the upcoming week? And just by simply setting aside that time every week to tune into each other's hearts, to spend time with each other, to have nothing else but one-on-one time, that creates an opportunity for us to really produce the results we want as a couple.
So one of the most important aspects of purposeful production as it relates to relationship is having a shared relationship vision. Having a clear idea of like, what does this relationship look like? What does it feel like to be in the relationship? And then to have some pinpoints in the future of things that you're creating, whether it be when's our next honeymoon, or when's our next trip, or what do we want our life to look like a year from now or 5 years, or maybe there's a goal in terms of the home that you want to buy or places you want to visit. But when you have these shared places on the future map of your life, then all of a sudden you're working together and your lives are in harmony and connection and alignment. It's when we get out of tune with each other and one partner is heading that way and another partner is heading that way, that, people's lives get more and more separated and disconnected, and there becomes more and more friction the further apart the people grow. So taking time to sit down and just really ask, like, what do you want our ideal relationship to feel like? What do you want it to look like? What are some things that you want to create this year? And then building that relationship bucket list creates deep alignment as it relates to purposeful production.
And one of the things that we love to do is make it really fun. Gerald mentioned, when are we going to go on our next honeymoon? Now you may be thinking, well, don't people only go on one honeymoon? Well, for us, we've just decided we will go on multiple honeymoons per year. So we call anything a honeymoon when we're going on a trip together, when the trip is geared or focused on our relationship and what we're creating. And it's so fun because we go to the airport, we're at the hotel, and we're telling people it's our honeymoon, and it has the spirit of love and aliveness and growth and newness, which helps keep our relationship alive. So having those fun components too is really nice. So maybe consider, how many honeymoons do you want to go on this year?
Yeah, and just finding your own variation of what it feels like to have your relationship to be fully alive. So just to recap, as it relates to purposeful production, this principle is all about being dialed in, having a clear vision for your future and what you're creating, what you're all about. And then really understanding how to harness the fullness of your soul force energy to bring that vision to life. So the 3 keys we talked about today is, number 1, finding for yourself what are the energy-rich activities, places, and things that make you feel most alive, make you feel most turned on for your own life. Number 2, being able to cultivate a sense of deeper connection and find the things that within your relationship bring that sense of aliveness. And number 3, we talked about having a shared vision, a relationship vision with your relationship bucket list and your future for the things that you're really focused on manifesting. When you do that, then all of a sudden the energy that you bring together, it's almost like this kundalini energy that just rises and increases and expands and brings more intimacy and love. And a big part of the sacral energy is like when you're fully ignited, then it's almost like you get to make love all the time. You know, like one of the philosophies that I think we have in our relationship is to make love every day. And sometimes that involves sex, and sometimes it's making love through just dedicating time and serving each other, loving each other, or writing love notes, or just holding each other's hands. And when we hear music, we just start dancing in public or wherever that might be. And there's so many different ways that you get to make love. But then when you're always making love in those ways, and the intimacy in sex becomes so unbelievable because you're just always turned on and ignited.
We have a rule that whenever we hear live music out in public, we stop whatever we are doing and we just start dancing. And it's fun little things like that that keep the relationship alive and full of passion. And you deserve to have a life that you love. You deserve to have a life that turns you on, that you're excited about, that's full of passion. You deserve to have a relationship that lights you up, that turns you on, that's full of passion. And so take ownership through that radical responsibility, which we talked in the last video, and then decide what are the results that you want and produce those results in your life. Create those results, identify those. So great recap, Gerald. I'm feeling super turned on right now, so we may have to go do something about that, just talking about all this purposeful production.
Yeah, so hopefully this video has got your wheels spinning, and hopefully you're feeling a little bit more turned on by your life, and hopefully that you remember that as you take radical responsibility for your life and really start creating more purposeful production, you'll start creating more and more and more and more of what you want in your relationship and life. So with that, we're sending you off with some deep love and reminding you that this is your life, so make it legendary.
And stay tuned for our next video on emotional sovereignty and how that can bring you closer together in your relationship.